The House will come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Representative Wynn.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Bacon, Barone, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brooks, Brown, Caldwell, Camacho, Carter, Clifford, DeGraff,
Here.
Duran, English, Representative English is excused. Espinoza, Foray, Flanell, Froelich, Garcia, Garcia-Sander, Gilchrist, Goldstein, Gonzalez, Hamrick, Hartsook, Jackson. She's back by Froelich. Yeah, she's here. Johnson, Joseph, Kelty, is here. Leader, Lindsay, Luck, Lukens, Representative Lukens,
Excused.
Mabry, Marshall, Martinez, Morrow, McCormick, Wynn, Pascal, Phillips, Richardson, Ricks,
Present.
Rutinel, Representative Rutinel,
Excused.
Ryden, Rep. Ryden,
Excused.
Sirota, Representative Sirota,
Excused.
Slaw, Smith, yep. Soper, Stuart K,
We're going to have to bring him in at some
Stuart
point.
R, Story, Representative Story is excused. Sukla, Taggart, Titone, Valdez A is excused. Velasco, Representative Velasco is excused. Weinberg, Wilford, Winter, she just snuck in. Woodrow, Woog, Representative Woog is excused. Hi. Zokai, and Madam Speaker.
With 59 present, 6 excused, we do have a quorum. Representative Wynn.
Madam Speaker, it is an honor to serve with you.
Good morning. Honor to serve with you, Representative Wynn.
Excellent. Did you know that Broomfield County is the smallest county in the state of Colorado with being only 34 miles?
I did not know this. Fascinating.
It is. And so, Madam Speaker, with that said, I move the Journal of Tuesday, March 10, 2026 to be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk today.
Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. That aye vote has it. The motion is adopted. Members, if I can have your attention, we are going to move into announcements and introductions. Members, announcements and introductions. I got it. Representative Valdez.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Good morning. I will have to surrender $1.
I've put you down for $1.
This is an early one, though. Just saying. So, Energy and Environment members, we will meet upon adjournment.
Representative, one moment. Folks, if I can have you keep your voices down. Announcements.
Energy and Environment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now that everyone's listening, Energy and Environment is meeting today in LSBA upon adjournment. 15 minutes upon adjournment. LSBA today.
Thank you. Representative Mabry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Judiciary Committee members, we will be meeting in room 107 upon adjournment of the upon adjournment committees. Technically, we're at 1:30, but if we go beyond, we'll start about 10 minutes upon adjournment of the upon adjournment committees. We're in room 107. We're in House Bill 1123 and Senate Bill 37.
Thank you. Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee will meet at 1:30 or upon adjournment of the upon adjournment, LSBA for 1211, 1242, 1196, and 1224.
Thank you. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House Education Committee will be meeting 10 minutes upon adjournment in room 107. We will hear House Bill 1259 and House Bill 1299.
Thank you. Representative Camacho.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, the Business Affairs and Labor Committee will meet 15 minutes upon adjournment in room 112. We'll be hearing bills 1091 and 1273 in that order.
Representative Paschal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you.
My first time here for announcements, and I didn't sign up, so I owe $1.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. I just want to let you know that MAD and AAA are going to be having a coffee and donuts down in the cafeteria in the basement. That will be Thursday, March 12th, 8 to 9 a.m. Please come and join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Joint Technology Committee come to SCR 352 at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about the Judicial Department requests, Office of Information Technology operating requests, R1 and R7, and other committee discussion. Don't miss it.
Thank you. Representative Sukla. And McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're just here today to recognize the Colorado Water Congress Board. Takes care of all our water in the state. So we have the board sitting up here in the corner, and then we have the executive director and the vice president right here. So we just wanted to recognize them. We need these people to save our water, and they're doing a good job of it.
Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There's more to say about water.
We're happy to announce that this is the first water day at the Capitol. I hope many of you stop by the first floor West Foyer. If you haven't yet, please do when we get done with the floor here. Thank you to Colorado Water Congress and the CWCB and Water Education Colorado for all of their work on that. And remember, earlier this week, I announced that there's a legislative water workshop that's today, starting at 11:30 in Senate Committee Room 354. Also, for fun, it happens to be World Plumbing Day, which has to do with water. And we have a lot of, just want to draw attention to all the people that work in implementing water solutions, our plumbers, pipe fitters, steam fitters. They're a vital part of our workforce. And they encourage all residents, businesses, and local leaders to participate in water efficiency programs, to develop the workforce and prioritize water solutions as essential investments in our state's economic future. So let's celebrate water today in all the ways that we can, and we just thank you all for being here and setting up our very first water day at the Capitol. It's really a fun thing to be part of.
Wonderful. Thank you. And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Representative Gilchrist.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a quick announcement, or an important announcement today to make sure everyone knows that CAFCA and Raise the Future are in the building today. They are two amazing organizations that support kids in foster care. As you all know, that is a deeply important issue and personal to me. Please take the time to meet with them and learn about the amazing work that they do for our most vulnerable kids. And they're over on the left-hand side here. Thank you so much for your dedication to foster kids. So please take the time to speak with them. Thank you, Representative Wynn. And then I have, yay. Then I have one more announcement about Health and Human Services. We'll meet at 1:30 today to hear bills 1019, 1116, 1260, 1235, 1092, and 1214.
Excellent. Representative Froelich.
Guten Tag, members. The city of Englewood is pleased to welcome a delegation from their sister city in Belm, Germany. This relationship has existed since 2006, and this is the first time students from Belm have visited Englewood. This delegation includes the mayor of Belm, and the press secretary for Belm, 2 teachers, and 6 high school students, plus we're joined by Englewood students. Please welcome them.
Thank you for being here. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am honored to welcome Dr. Robert Williams, who lives in my district and has received the 2025 COPIC Humanitarian Award from the Colorado Medical Society and COPIC. This is awarded to a physician volunteering their medical services to the underserved and who has made a difference in their community. Thank you to Dr. Williams for his service supporting Colorado and our community. Please join me in congratulating him and welcome him to the Capitol.
Congratulations. Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Representative Hartsook.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Happy Hump Day here. Along the same vein, we've got some other medical professionals. If I'd have them stand up in the gallery. What we have are the Colorado anesthesiologists. So these folks that are up here go through medical school, and that wasn't enough. They decide they want to keep going and become anesthesiologists. So if you've ever had surgery, these are the people that are the last ones you will see before they go, you ready to go night-night? And then they push the needle, and it goes in the IV, and you go night-night. So thank you, and welcome here for everything that you do.
Thank you. Members, we are moving into business. I will invite you all to take your seats.
Me too.
Members, we are proceeding to business. Please take your seats. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of resolutions.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order for consideration of resolution. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move for the immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 1.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed to the immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 1. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Joint Resolution 1.
Senate Joint Resolution 1 by Senators Roberts and Catlin, also Representatives McCormick and Winter, concerning approval of water project revolving fund eligibility lists administered by the Colorado Water Resources and Power Development Authority.
Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Joint Resolution 26001.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are not going to read this resolution at length, but I wanted to give you an idea of what this is about and why we do this every year. This resolution brings forth the many different projects across our state, many of which that you will see are from your town or from your county that have been approved to be eligible for funding when the funding bill comes after this, that you will see in a few weeks. So this is a really important issue that comes up every year. And just to give you an idea of the background of this particular resolution, the Drinking Water Revolving Fund and the Power Development Authority has, since 1995 and even 1998, has been part of looking at projects across our state that have to do with water treatment facilities, water storage, water rights, distribution, well and pump station facilities, green infrastructures, all kinds of water infrastructure across our state that the Colorado Water Conservation Board is tasked with funding. So we bring this forward every year, and just you to realize that these projects that are listed in the resolution have gone through a pretty intensive process to even make it on this list. And then not everyone on this list is going to get funding because there's not enough funding to do all the things we need to do in the world of water across our state. So this is an important step moving towards funding our water plan and making sure that our cities and counties across the state have what they need for the most crucial projects in water quality and water storage. So we urge an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion. Assistant Minority Leader, did you want to say anything?
Please say something.
Co-Prime did such a good job of it. Please, if you take a look, this is water projects throughout the whole state of Colorado. It doesn't matter if you're urban or rural. They're important. We have a lot of these communities that do need help. I mean, we want to be able to, clean water, and we want to be able to make sure to be able to provide clean water. I think it's an important thing that comes out of Agriculture Committee every year, and there will be a funding bill that will be on that will come out, and the chair of the committee is 100% correct. It's hard to go through this list because we wish we could help everybody. It's very important for everybody's district in this chamber. So we urge an aye vote. Help us get this thing over the finish line. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 1. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote? Representative Ricks, you are on mute. Representative Ricks is excused. Representative Wilford is excused. Please close the machine. With 63 aye, 0 no, and 2 excused, Senate Joint Resolution 1 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Representative Ricks, co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Members, we are moving into third reading. I will ask you to take your seats. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1130.
House Bill 1130 by Representatives Story and Jackson, also Senators Cutter and Judah, concerning baby diaper changing stations in restrooms accessible to the public.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to lay over House Bill 1130 until tomorrow.
House Bill 1130 will be laid over until tomorrow. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1089.
House Bill 1089 by Representative Espinoza, also Senator Snyder, concerning mortgage modifications and in connection therewith enacting the Uniform Mortgage Modification Act.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1089 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1089 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote? Representative DeGraff, how do you vote? Oh, you are on mute.
No.
Representative DeGraff votes no. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 63 aye, 1 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1089 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 34.
Senate Bill 34 by Senators Colker and Marchman, also Representatives Hamrick and Bacon, concerning expanding participation by members of the Auraria Board of Directors Advisory Committees.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 34 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 34 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
No.
Representative DeGraff votes no. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 43 aye, 21 no, and 1 excused, Senate Bill 34 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 13.
Senate Bill 13 by Senators Hendrickson and Marchman, also Representatives Okai, concerning cohabitation as a means to commit the offense of bigamy.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 13 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Representative Zokai.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request permission to run a third reading amendment.
Thank you. Please briefly describe the need for the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have noticed some technical issues with the numbering on some changes we made yesterday, and I'm going to let my good colleague take it from here.
Thank you, Representative Zokai. We will move to the permission first, and then we'll talk about the amendment. Members, the motion before us is request to run an amendment on third reading. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 56 aye, 8 no, and 1 excused, permission is granted. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. There's a couple of reasons why we're going to ask for a yes vote on this amendment. Number one, this would be the first place in Colorado law that we've had a section 0.5, and we do not want this to be the first place in statute that exists. We don't do halves below the number. That's not a thing that exists in Colorado law. So that's the very technical answer for why we'd like your yes vote. The other reason is the amendment was making a point, and it was illustrating the need for the bill and the changes of striking the word cohabitation. However, we want to be respectful of the institution as a whole and make sure that when we do name something that it's not just making a point to illustrate what the law does, but it really is in consideration of the greater policy. So for those two reasons, would ask for your yes vote on this amendment.
I need for one of you to move the amendment. Thank you. Representative Zokai.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move L009 to Senate Bill 13 and ask that it be displayed.
Thank you. Thank you. It is properly displayed. Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of L009 to Senate Bill 13. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
No.
Representative DeGraff votes no. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 64 aye, 1 no, and 0 excused, Senate Amendment L009 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to adopt Senate Bill 13 as amended on third reading and final passage.
Thank you. The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 13 as amended on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
No.
Representative DeGraff votes no. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 46 aye, 19 no, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 13 as amended is adopted. Mr. Schiebel, please read. Oh, sorry. I'm just on a roll. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1095.
House Bill 1095 by Representatives Sukla and Nguyen, also Senators Peltonar and Lindsted, concerning unpaid online access to public notices published in legal newspapers.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1095 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1095 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 64 aye, 1 no, and 0 excused, House Bill 1095 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebo, please read the title to Senate Bill 64.
Senate Bill 64 by Senators Simpson and Roberts, also Representatives McCormick and Soper, concerning modifying the Colorado Agricultural Future Loan Program to allow certain eligible entities to qualify for funding from the program.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 64 on third reading and final passage.
Assistant Minority Leader Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I just want to get up and talk and explain why I'm going to change my vote from committee to now. After doing a lot more research, I'm not 100%. I know what the bill's trying to do, and the original scope of the program was important, and I see what they're trying to do by being able to allow the water conservation districts to be part of that loan process. I've had a lot of questions answered about this, and the main thing that this bill is going to do is make sure that we keep agricultural land and agricultural production. We want to make sure that when these easements come through, if somebody wants to carry this on, that it isn't taken and parceled and the water sold off of it. We're seeing farm and ranch land being sold off in mass amounts in Colorado. And as we all know, food security is national security, and being able to feed our population is important. So this is a good bill. I will be changing my vote from committee to no to yes today, and thank you for the sponsors for bringing this and looking out for rural Colorado. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 64 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes. Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 65 aye, 0 no, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 64 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1258.
House Bill 1258 by Representative Soper and Titone, also Senators Roberts and Pelton R, concerning death.
That's up your alley. Go on. Come on. Come on.
That was a moment for applause. It's the little things, folks. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move House Bill 1258 on third reading and final passage.
Assistant Minority Leader Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, I want to thank the bill sponsors for bringing this. There are good funeral directors out there that take care of their families and they love their people. I come from a funeral directing family, and we take this serious. Jesus said, bury the dead, and that's what we do. And they deserve the dignity and respect of any living human being, and the atrocities that we have seen are disgusting and wrong, and everybody should be mad about that. The first bill was a little rough on us, and I appreciate you both for recognizing that, because you have generational families that have not been to mortuary science school that know how to do the job based on their years and years of family practice, and for you to be able to make that transfer easier is important. And I know you really dug in with one of the funeral directors from my district, but as I have every year under 21C, I will not be, or I would ask permission to be excused from the vote on this bill, but I wanted to thank the sponsors.
Thank you, so noted. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I did just want to say a couple of final thoughts, since this is the last death act that you'll see from Rep. Titone and myself, being that we're term limited. We've had a lot of atrocities over the years. We've reformed the funeral industry here in Colorado, went from the Wild West and unregulated to a fully professionalized industry here in Colorado. And with this bill, I want this to be really a message to the outside world that when you are regulating an industry, you also need to be willing to come back and say, we've listened to the industry and we want to make it work. And this bill does just that. Things that the industry told us that were working well during the transition, such as the apprenticeship or peer reviewing path, that's now going to move forward, and it's going to be a permanent path for people to work in the funeral industry. The ability to have one licensed designee over all the funeral homes that you own is important, because one person should be responsible, not necessarily having one per location. We already have a licensed individual in each location, such as the funeral director or crematorium operator. Being willing to listen to the industry, I believe, is what made this bill successful and what brought all the stakeholders to the table who worked incredibly well to say, we have reformed the industry, now let's make this a smooth operating industry so that going forward, we can actually bury our dead. We can mourn the losses and have the confidence to know that nothing bad is going to happen in the areas of the funeral home that we don't see.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1258 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. At the member's request, AML Winter is excused. Please close the machine. With 64 ayes, 0 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1258 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1090.
House Bill 1090 by Representatives Luck and Martinez, also Senator Gonzalez, concerning teacher licensing requirements.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1090 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1090 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 65 ayes, 0 no, and 0 excused, House Bill 1090 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1191.
House Bill 1191 by Representatives Johnson and Bacon, also Senators Frizzell and Weissman, concerning the examination of a school district that receives state education fund money for capital construction projects for qualified charter schools in the district and in connection therewith, making the state auditor's examination of the school district's records discretionary rather than mandatory.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1191 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1191 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative DeGraff votes yes. Representative Ricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ricks votes yes. Please close the machine. With 65 ayes, 0 no, and 0 excused, House Bill 1191 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Members, I have an announcement. Representatives Brown, Sirota, and Taggart are excused at such time as necessary for the Joint Budget Committee meeting. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the following bills be made special orders on March 11th, 2026 at 9:49 a.m. House Bill 1237, House Bill 1107, House Bill 1238, House Bill 1257, Senate Bill 46, and House Bill 1200.
Seeing no objection, the bills listed by the Majority Leader will be made special orders today, March 11th at 9:49 a.m. Representative Ryden. Members, you've heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Ryden will take the chair.
All right, the committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title by the lovely George, unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen, on iLegislate, and in today's folder on your box account. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the Majority Leader, and that coat rule is relaxed. All right, Mr. Schiebel, can you read the title of House Bill 1237?
House Bill 1237 by Representative Smith and Taggart, also Senator Lindsted, concerning modifications to select statutory provisions to improve transportation safety.
All right. Who wants to start? Representative Taggart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Ditto.
I move House Bill 1237 and the committee report.
All right, to the committee report.
The committee report is just a very simple change to a safety clause to a petition clause, which my caucus always asks for.
Representative Smith.
And it does one more thing. If House Bill, House Bill 1127 passes, we need to remove Section 67 because there's a conflict. There will be a conflict.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. The committee report is passed to the bill. Representative Smith.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you and sit next to you.
Ditto and ditto.
First of all, I just would like to say that I am excited to be teaming up with my esteemed colleague again this year. Last year, if you recall, we ran the safety bill on e-bikes. We've got this another safety bill this year, bikes as well as cars and so forth. So this is a really great bill. It's pretty straightforward and simple. It's got 4 parts. First of all, it's updating language to change from accident to crash. And that's why it's so many pages long, because there's accident referred to in a lot of places. And this is important for a couple reasons. First of all, already a lot of the reports and so forth already have a crash report, not an accident report, like the Colorado Highway Patrol. Also, we heard from witnesses yesterday about how important it is to talk about these incidents as a crash. An accident sounds like that's just something that might happen. A crash means that this happened, and most likely somebody is accountable for this, and oftentimes it results in death. So that's the first part. The second part is clarifying the traction law for two-wheel drive vehicles. Currently in statute, it has two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and when you need chains or not have chains. And the CDOT would like to make it simple and just say either you need to have chains when it's bad weather, or you have to have a certain tire tread. And that makes it easier for, when you're driving in the mountains and you see those overhead signs with the chain up rule in effect. And at this point, then I'll hand it over to my colleague to explain the other 2 parts.
Representative Taggart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two additional areas of the bill, and one is to prohibit parking in bike lanes. And that may not seem all that important to folks that don't ride a bike very often, but when folks park in the bike lane, we as cyclists have to go out into the road around those bike lanes and put ourselves in danger. And so they're well marked, and we just ask motorists to pay attention to when there's a bike lane, don't park in it. And last but not least, CDOT has asked for an expansion on moving abandoned vehicles. In the past, the verbiage has centered around obstructs traffic or highway maintenance. Now the bill adds if it impedes traffic or highway maintenance or operations, and operations could be construction, could be a variety of activities that are going on. And these would be done by people that are authorized by CDOT or by our municipalities and counties. And at that, I would ask you for a yes vote.
All right, is there any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of House Bill 1237. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. House Bill 1237 passes. Mr. Shebo, please read the bill number for 1107.
House Bill 1107 by Representatives Foray and Pascal concerning measures to increase access to services and facilities that provide medical care.
All right, to the Representative Pascal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Ditto.
Okay. I move House Bill 1107 and the Health and Human Services Committee report.
All right, to the committee report.
Okay, in committee, we ran 2 amendments. The first amendment primarily changed the factors on the form that we are asking memory care facilities to fill out. The second amendment, we had a section in the bill that was about allowing CNAs to do injectable medication, and that didn't go over very well, so we removed that entire section. That was what the second amendment was. And we have a third amendment to the HHS committee report. I move L006 to House Bill 1107.
All right. right, we're going to display that.
To
Just a
the
minute.
HHS committee report.
All right, yep.
Okay. All right. So, all right, I will let my wonderful co-prime speak to this amendment.
Representative Ferre to
Thank
the
you,
amendment.
Madam Chair, I appreciate it. So there's two things that we're clarifying in this. As we worked through the bill and did our stakeholdering, we pulled all of the injections part out of it. That was a concern for the Nurse Association, and we wanted to respect that. And so this actually by pulling out the injection piece, we lost that funding mechanism for the form. And so we worked really hard to figure out how we can make that work. And so this amendment talks about using the assisted care cash fund that already exists and has money to pull that $36,000. So that brings the fiscal note down to zero. And then the second part of this amendment talks just about the fines and penalties. Originally, it was a pretty aggressive penalty, and we toned that down a little bit. So we ask for your support in this amendment.
Okay, any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of L003 to the committee report. L006 to the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. The amendment is passed. Back to the committee report.
To the bill?
To the bill, did you say?
All right. And any further discussion on the bill? To the committee report, Representative Brooks.
I think you're going to the bill, though. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Chair. Lots to say. Committee reports, bills, everything. I just want to quickly say thank you to the bill sponsors. I had a amendment to the committee report, which I am not going to run because the amendment that had just passed actually addressed some of the items that I was concerned about. So the bill sponsors being very proactive and very responsive to some of the concerns that that had been brought forward. So thank you for running that amendment that clarifies that I won't need to run this one until we're all set. So thank you. I would say yes on the committee report.
All right, any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of the committee report to House Bill 1107. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report is passed to the bill. Any Rep?
You go ahead.
Okay.
Rep. Ferre.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an issue that's near and dear to our heart, and I think with many of you as well. Dementia and Alzheimer's impacts a lot of us directly in our family or people that we know. I'm honored to be with my co-prime who's experiencing similar challenges around the memory care space. This will help solidify and have a universal approach to information for dementia care facilities. That is so important, especially for people not in that industry. You don't know what questions you have to ask. You don't know what they're supposed to provide. This will help standardize it across the state and help when we're shopping around for our loved ones where we can appropriately put them. I ask for your support.
Okay. Representative Pascal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I joined on this bill with Representative Ferre because I have personal experience shopping for assisted living facilities and for memory care facilities. I have a mom who had a stroke about 10 years ago, fell backwards down the stairs, hit her head. She's now in a wheelchair and was in several different assisted living facilities and now is in and then went into a memory care facility. And we just had a lot of challenges understanding what was going to be included in the care, what the billing was going to be, a lot of surprises on the other side of making a choice. And I just wanted to do what I could do to help make that choice a little bit easier for people by having more information up front and having a uniform set of questions answered so that they could do some comparison shopping. And not to exclude visiting in person, absolutely need to do that, but just to help that process along because it is a very difficult time to be making a very difficult life decision.
All right, Representative Barron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm up here to ask a couple questions for the bill sponsors. Since in your last amendment, you struck the gifts, grants, and donations. Is there a funding process now? Did you find money? How is that working now?
Representative Pascal.
Thank you for the question. Given that we no longer had that whole section about the injectable medications in the bill, we no longer have a fiscal note. So we didn't need to fund it.
Representative
Correct?
Barron.
I'm sorry, I got that wrong. We'll get a better answer.
Representative Frey.
Thank you for the question. Love being on the mic with you over here. So we removed all the injectable parts. That left a gap in how we could fund the dementia care part. So we added gifts, grants, and donations. But working with CDPHE, we identified there is an assisted living cash fund that has funds in it that we could pull those $36,000 of that one-time cost to implement the form, and then it would not require any money after that.
Okay.
Representative Barone.
So if you found those cash funds from CDPHE, we would like to ask questions to CDPHE. So with that being said, I would like to move this bill back to committee so we can speak on that. Health and Human Services Committee.
Why don't you just ask me the question?
Well, because we want to be able to do that.
Maybe I can answer.
I move to refer the bill back to Health and Human Services Committee.
I was going to recess.
I could probably answer the questions. Why are you?
It's got to be done over here on our side too.
Why?
We have to be able to hear out CDPHE in committee.
I can answer it to you. What am I missing here?
No, but CDP. It's one thing to go through a member.
All right, that is a proper motion. The question before us is whether we move the bill back to the Health and Human Services Committee. It's a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
No.
All right, the noes have it. It's
Thank you.
back to the bill. Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Bradley.
Here we go, Death.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we heard this in committee, and I just want to thank the bill sponsors. They really listened to what we had to say. We had some serious issues with allowing CNAs to do injections. We wanted to make sure that we were safeguarding patients. The bill sponsors took that into consideration and listened to all of the worries about that. The dementia community kind of came in and were like, why are we putting both of these bills together? And the bill sponsors were very receptive. The dementia community definitely came and talked to all of us when they came up here, and they want transparency in memory care, but they didn't understand what that had to do with CNAs given injections. So really grateful to the bill sponsors for simplifying this bill and the quest for transparency in memory care, and the fact that people like me that are looking for places for my mom to go or my parents to go need to have transparency. And if these nursing facilities do offer dementia and memory care, or if they're just not being transparent about that, because as we're looking for facilities for our parents, we're in that age, we need to make sure there's clarity in where we're going, especially if they live out of town, or any of those things. So really wanted to thank the bill sponsors. You gutted a lot of your bill, and I appreciate you listening to the stakeholding community and the dementia community and coming up with a better plan. So I appreciate that, and I will be in support of this bill. Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on the bill? All right, Representative Brooks.
Chair, thank you. I do want to appreciate or give my appreciation to bill sponsors. I'm working on, and I think I had told you earlier, working on an amendment just to ensure that, that we're not exceeding national standards on any of it. I think it's actually very simple, very clean language. That is my only, I don't even know if I can't call it a problem, more of a question about it. And I'm hoping that it's fairly straightforward. I'll put it up on the screen here so everybody can see how straightforward it is. I move L009 to HB 1107 asked to be properly displayed.
All right, give us just a moment. All right, that's readable. Continue, Representative Brooks.
Chair, thank you. Again, as I was saying, it's a very straightforward amendment that is simply just clarifying that that where perhaps the law is not specific and very clarified, that we are not exceeding any sort of national standard, that it just keeps the agency within a national standard, does not encourage them or makes it very clear to them that there is not an avenue to make any sort of duplicative guidelines here or any guidelines that would exceed a national standard. So again, very straightforward, does not provide any injury to the bill or even the intent of the bill, so I would ask for a yes vote.
Representative Frey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the spirit of bipartisanship, we will accept that.
All right, any more questions on the amendment? All right. All right. Seeing none, the question before us is passage of Amendment L009 to House Bill 1107. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. All right, the ayes have it. The amendment is accepted. Back to the bill. Representative Brooks.
I am going to enthusiastically support the bill. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the bill? Representative Barron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to ask the bill sponsors, I really want to get CDPHE on record in committee saying the money is there. That's my only concern. Would the bill sponsors be in agreement to move it to finance just to make sure and just get them on record, and then it'll move forward, and then I can easily support this on the floor again. It should be a quick process. We're halfway through. We still got half the session, so it's not like we're moving it. We're trying to slow it down.
Representative Frey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Y'all already got a yes from me. I'm going to have to go no again. But no, in all seriousness, I would encourage you to talk to them, hear what they have to say. If they cannot confirm the funding mechanism is available, then vote no, and I will also vote no. Is that fair enough?
Representative Barron.
That is fair enough for me. Thank you.
All right. Any more questions on the bill? All right. Seeing none, the question before us is passage of House Bill 1107. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right. The bill as amended. The bill passes as amended. All right. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title of the next bill, 1238.
House Bill 1238 by Representatives Johnson and Lukens, also Senators Baisley and Lindstedt, concerning emergency medical services provided in the state and in connection therewith, designating emergency medical services, including ambulance services and air ambulance services, to be essential services.
All right, Rep. Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1238 and the Health and Human Services report.
All right, to the report. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I get to the report, I would like to amend the report. I move Amendment L8 to the Health and Human Services Committee report and ask that it be properly displayed.
You don't have to say that. No. All right, just give us a second. That's properly displayed. Rep. Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. L8 updates varying words and definitions within our bill. It also updates the legislative declaration. And the most substantive part is that it strikes Section 7. We ask for your yes vote on L8.
Okay, any further discussion on the amendment? Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of this amendment. Just cleans things up, makes it more clear, and urge an aye vote on it.
Okay, any further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is passage of L008 to the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. To the committee report, Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L10 to the Health and Human Services Committee report and ask that it be properly displayed.
Give us a moment. All right, that is readable. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. L10 strikes Section 6 of the bill. We ask for your yes vote.
Okay, any further discussion on L010? Yeah, Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, a great amendment. The emergency response systems were worried about this telecommunications subsystem, and so they came out and said, hey, let's amend this, and the bill sponsors listened. Another great amendment. Urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the amendment? All right. All right. The question before us is passage of L0110 to the Health and Human Services Committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. All right. The ayes have it. The amendment passes to the committee report. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Health and Human Services Committee report addressed a part within, removed the entire section of Section 8. We ask for your yes vote on the Health and Human Services Committee report.
Okay. The question before, any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of the committee report as amended. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report passes to the next committee report.
No, just to the bill.
Oh, to the bill? Okay. Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Continuing discussions both with the affected agencies and the governor's office. After we got out of the committee report, we did find there was one more technical amendment needed, so I move L011 to House Bill 1238 and ask that it be properly displayed.
I should have said one, but I thought we have two more. We have two.
Yeah, but that was the offending to the committee. This is to the, yeah.
All right. That is properly displayed. Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we just had missed one out-of-hospital setting to move it to out-of-hospital services to keep in line with the amendments that we just did and urge a yes vote.
Okay. Any further discussion on L011? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of L011 to the bill. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. All right. The ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. Back to the bill. Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And there is one last amendment just to make sure everyone is in a good spot. And I move L009 to House Bill 1238 and ask that it be properly displayed.
Okay, that's properly displayed. Representative Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And after discussions with the governor's office, we found that this was duplicative of the ability that he can already use his discretionary funds for emergency use purposes, and EMS is already included. So we encourage a yes vote.
Any Representative Bradley?
Really would like to thank the bill sponsors for this amendment. I'm watching you guys back there. I felt like this was duplicative. I felt like the governor already had the ability to direct the transfer of money, so appreciate this clarity and urge an aye vote on this amendment. Thank you.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is passage of Amendment L009 to the bill. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. All right, the amendment passes. To the bill, Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1238 is important. It's not just symbolic, it is practical and urgent, and it is very confusing why we haven't done this in the state already, but we're finally doing it. EMS is the front door of care. When you call for any medical issue, stroke, overdose, traumatic injury, our EMTs and paramedics are there. So what this bill does is designate our emergency medical services, including ambulances and air ambulance services, as essential to protecting public health and safety. This reinforces EMS as a critical part of Colorado's healthcare infrastructure. It also clarifies operational expectations during disasters and closures. It helps coordinate with systems. This bill supports all of our EMS, private, public, third party, hospital, county, municipality, and make sure that we're giving every region the best source that they need. It also includes an important safeguard, noting that EMS providers do have protections themselves when off duty, so that way they can also do self-care. This is a strongly needed and long due bill, and I urge a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. we heard a lot of testimony in committee, and I just wanted to tell you guys a couple of things that were said from the EMS community for rural Colorado. No cavalry is coming from Denver. People expect help regardless of their location. Inaction is most immediate. The geographical area is bigger than most eastern states with a handful of providers. EMS is the front door to healthcare in rural Colorado, and this bill will recognize EMS and ambulance services as essential. This is long overdue, a much-needed bill, not for just urban Colorado, but essential for rural Colorado. And again, a shout-out to EMS. Had it not been for them, my son would not be here today. So good bill, vote yes. Thank you.
All right, further, Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in strong support of this piece of legislation. I would agree with my colleague from Douglas County. This is long overdue. EMS are the lifeline of rural Colorado. 110%. They're the ones that are seeing everybody before they even have a chance maybe to get to a hospital within an hour. They deserve that respect, and they deserve to be recognized as an essential service. I hear from EMS directors, people that work in the ambulance service, people that work as EMS individuals in our rural fire departments all the time about how this bill has been needed. They're our first line of defense. I'm honored to serve all of those people in House District 47 that risk their lives and do the things that need to be done to make sure that we have health care provided, not only in times of emergencies, but in all times in rural Colorado. So thank you, sponsors, for bringing the bill. 110% yes, and thank you to the EMS individuals that put their life on the line every day and care for our communities.
And thank you, Assistant Minority Leader Winter. Further discussion on the bill? All right, seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1238 as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. Oops, I don't do that yet, sorry. House Bill 1238 as amended is passed. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move House Bill 1257 to the end of the special orders calendar.
All right. House Bill 1257 will be moved to the end of the special orders as you requested.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Mr. Schiebel, can you read the title of Senate Bill 46?
Senate Bill 46 by Senators Frizzell and Ball, also Representatives Richardson and Zokai, concerning procedural requirements for the administration of property tax and in connection therewith, modifying deadlines and certain requirements for transmitting information related to taxable property.
Representative Richardson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 26-046. It is an honor to be here to the right of my co-prime, former Larimer County Chief Deputy Assessor. Colleagues, I know this is the bill you've been waiting for. It came up just a little earlier than expected, but I'd invite you on a fascinating journey into the world of the county assessor. Discovery, classification, valuation, reporting, dates and deadlines, and so much more. This 25-page bill, which I know you've all read carefully, it's a scintillating read. It absolutely is, but we are required to present it to you. So it is a very practical cleanup bill brought by the assessors themselves. It's been closely worked in association with the Assessors Association, tax agents that represent our property owners, the Division of Property Taxation. It's a great one. It's probably the best today. But it's a practical bill that was built by the people that do this work every day. It's not a major policy shift. It is a cleanup. It makes the system much better. It makes deadlines more sensible, cuts unnecessary paperwork, and gives assessors a little more room to do the careful work they do for the people they serve. Before I turn it over to my co-prime to walk through the mechanics of the bill, I just wanted to point out there is no fiscal note. It is what it is. No FTE impact, just some changes in processes, some modest improvements, and some workload relief for both state and local governments. Most of this bill takes effect after the normal post-session period. A couple of sections take place in January of 27 just to get things set up, and it is subject to petition. So with that, I turn it to my co-sponsor.
Representative Zokai.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Ditto.
And it is wonderful to be back here with Rep. Richardson running a bill to help our assessors in their day-to-day jobs of discovering, listing, classifying, and valuing all property within their counties. Property tax administration is an incredibly complex system that involves the county assessors, but also the Board of County Commissioners, the Division of Property Taxation and Property Tax Administrator, and ultimately the taxpayers as well. I know that we might not all find this as fascinating as I do, but this is some much needed cleanup and changes to procedures that I'm very excited to bring forward today. So I will go through some of the mechanics here, and then hopefully we all will vote yes and have a great day. So some of the changes you'll see before you. The bill aligns deadlines for the qualified senior primary residence and veteran with disability exemptions with the senior exemption deadlines. It moves the deadline to July 15th and the late application deadline to August 15th. This allows the public time to apply, and it also allows assessors' offices times to process and provides consistency. The bill increases the abatement threshold that is required for counties to have to seek approval from the property tax administrator from $10,000 to $20,000. It also reduces the number of copies that need to be sent. It changes the protest deadline from June 8th back to June 1. I love the work we do here in this body, but perhaps that change was not as well thought out and caused a lot of issues for me personally, when I was the deputy assessor, to be able to process all of our protests in a timely manner and with the care that they deserve. And so we are changing that deadline back to June 1st. We are changing the deadline for notices of value to be sent to business personal property accounts from June 15th to July 15th, and similarly aligning the protest deadline from June 30th to July 31st, and clarifying that an assessor or board may transmit the abstract of assessment electronically. And finally, we're reducing the number of copies that a notice of determination that an assessor must send to a taxpayer down to 1. Lots of technical changes here, but I do want to just again emphasize this bill provides clarity that is much needed and makes a large difference in the day-to-day operations of the assessor's office, and we urge a yes vote.
Representative Brooks.
Chair, thank you. I would like to just address something that I would imagine might be on the minds of my colleagues, because any time that we see our good colleague from Larimer step up here or run any sort of tax bill, I understand that there might be a little bit of concern, there might be a little bit of pause, there might be a sense of abject terror. And I understand how that sense of dread has been earned. However, in this case, I'm very happy actually to stand with my good tax slaying colleague from Larimer and say that this is good, and this is something I supported in committee, and this is something that I will absolutely support here as well. That's a nice, easy cleanup that helps with the efficiency at the county level, which I appreciate. I think that this will be the only time that anything tax related, and my good colleague from Larimer, that we have the opportunity to be able to come together. I bet that you would actually think that that's fair.
Representative Zokai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Brooks, for outlining my record as such. If my tax record of providing equity for hungry kids or taxing corporations and creating a more fair tax system provides dread, then dread will be coming in a few weeks. But this is just a technical cleanup, and I'm excited that we can be on the same page here.
Okay. Representative Brooks.
Thank you, Chair. The dread is already upon me. And so it won't, I imagine that more will be coming. That's actually, I have even a more profound sense of dread. However, let's just take this opportunity right now to say, hey, this particular tax measure we can agree on.
Let's enjoy this moment.
All right. Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Richardson.
To my good representative and fellow colleague from Douglas County, horning in on my kumbaya moment is really potentially a breach of decorum and asks for a ruling perhaps at a later date. But this bill, fascinating, entertaining, and entirely practical, should be passed by this entire body, should be supported by this entire body, and I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? All right, seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 46. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. Senate Bill 046 passes. Mr. Shebo, could you read the title to House Bill 1200?
House Bill 1200 by Representative Garcia Sander, also Senator Pelton B, concerning required payments upon registration of a vehicle for a member of the United States Armed Forces serving outside the state.
Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Ditto.
I move House Bill 26-1200.
All right, to the bill.
This is a bill that came out of committee unanimously. We are running this to give some support for our armed forces who are stationed out of the country. Right now, they need to pay their license and registration fee of $1, plus submit an affidavit in order to get the fees, any late registration fees waived. And this is a simple bill that just waives that affidavit requirement and just requires military members to present their military service orders in order to get the waiver. And we ask, during committee, we did get a suggestion for an amendment, and we will have an amendment also.
Further discussion on bill, Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the reason why I got on this bill is just it's really important. When I was in the service and I left on deployment, trying to get that leave status for your vehicle is really difficult. Having to submit an affidavit, having to go through all of this process is really cumbersome on the military member, especially when they know that they're being deployed. This simplifies the process in just having to show your deployment orders, which are readily available. You can scan that. You can take that in to the DMV to be able to get that leave status. We think that this just really clears up a lot of red tape, makes it easier for the military members that are deploying and making sure that we're helping them out. And this is making sure that we're helping support our military forward deployed units. So we urge an aye vote.
Okay, is there further discussion on the bill? All right, seeing none, the question before us is Representative Garcia Sander.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As mentioned, we do have an amendment as suggested in committee, and I move L001 and ask that it be displayed.
We'll take a short recess.
Is that right?
Go ahead. All right, the committee will come back to order. Representative Martinez.
I withdraw the motion for amendment L001.
All right, the amendment is withdrawn. To the bill, Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So again, really talking about the importance of this whole process. When you're deploying and you're going through the process, sometimes those orders to deploy happen really quickly. Sometimes they happen in a very short order in a time manner. So when you're going through, when you get your deployment orders, sometimes that can be anywhere between a week It can be 30 days or 60 days when you are going through this. And so again, what we're doing in this bill is really just trying to make sure that they have enough time to be able to submit in for their deployment orders and being able to get that in a timely fashion to their DMV. Also with that, when you're going through, like for example, myself, I was in California at the time when I deployed, or before I deployed. So when I got those deployment orders, I would have to go through getting those orders and then getting those into the DMV in order for a registration for this leave status on there. And so again, what we're trying to do is instead of having to go to get a printed affidavit, signed affidavit, and then having that take a process, and then getting that, and then turning that back into the DMV, then you taking that affidavit and then taking that into the DMV takes time, much like the time that we took now. So with that, I move Amendment L0.
We have to withdraw the previous one.
Representative Garcia-Sander.
I move Amendment L005 to House Bill 1200 and ask that it be properly displayed.
All right. Give us just a moment. Representative Garcia-Sander to the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment is just adding the language that the department shall notify the owner that the motor vehicle must not be operated on the roadways when the reduced tax rate applies. This is just clarifying for the vehicle owner that if they leave their car and somebody else in their family or a friend says, hey, I need to borrow it, that it still cannot be driven because it's not going to be properly registered. So we just wanted to make sure that they understand that it cannot be driven while it is not registered.
Okay.
And I ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is adoption of L005 to House Bill 1200. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment passes. To the bill, Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We request an aye vote.
Any further discussion on the bill? Representative Garcia-Sander?
Good bill, vote yes.
Any further, Representative Richardson?
Colleagues, I would urge a yes vote. It's a very good bill. My last position before I retired was as the commander of the Sustainment Brigade at Fort Carson. We had several units that were forward deployed, but it was not rare during that time frame to get a call at 2 a.m. from Afghanistan that they needed an individual replacement. We had soldiers trained to go forward on very short notice, but generally they had 18 to 24 hours from the time that call came till they were on a plane. So being able to streamline this process is incredibly important and meaningful to those individuals that are called on very short notice. And I appreciate the sponsors for bringing this forward.
Further, Representative Hartsook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a great bill. We heard this in finance. And one of the key issues here is not only is it a good governance bill because it reduces the amount of red tape that the state has to do when it comes to military personnel. Military personnel get the same benefit in return. They don't have to worry about being charged extra fees because their mind, I promise you, their mind is not on, hey, do I have to pay my registration fees when they are deploying? That's the last thing that's on their mind. And when they come back and they get hit with all of this, there's a bunch of red tape to go through. So this is a great bill. We loved it. Finance, we urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Further discussion on the bill? All right, seeing none, the question is the adoption of House Bill 1200 as amended. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. House Bill 1200 as amended, it passes. Mr. Schiebel, can you read the title of House Bill 1257?
House Bill 1257 by Representatives Gonzalez and Rutnell concerning the local regulation of massage facilities.
Okay, Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1257 and the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee report.
All right, to the committee report. Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee report has one pretty straightforward amendment. It just ensures that we're not needlessly bringing facilities into the mix that are only ancillary to massage operations. We urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on adoption of the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the committee report is adopted. To the bill, Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L002 to House Bill 1257 and ask for it to be properly displayed.
Okay, give us a minute.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Okay, that's properly displayed. Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment ensures that the needs of legitimate massage therapy businesses are considered in the process of regulating this industry. We urge an aye vote.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is adoption of L002 to House Bill 1257. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L002 is adopted. To the bill, Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L003 to House Bill 1257 and ask for it to be properly displayed.
All right, that is properly displayed. Tell us about the amendment, Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment ensures that the fees that localities impose on these facilities are capped at a reasonable level and that they're able to adjust with inflation over time. We urge an aye vote.
All right, any further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is adoption of L003 to House Bill 1257. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment L003 passes. Back to the bill. Representative Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is an important bill for our local municipalities. There were some unintended consequences from HB 24-1371, which was passed in 2024. Though well-intentioned, it inadvertently stripped local governments of regulatories that they had relied on for years to combat illicit activity. What this bill does is three things. First, it expands the definition of illicit massage business to include facilities engaged in crimes beyond human trafficking, such as drug distribution and money laundering. Under current law, local governments cannot act against a suspicious facility unless they prove human trafficking. That bar is so high that illicit operators can keep running while enforcement stalls. This change gives local governments a realistic path to action. Second, it removes the restriction that local ordinances be no more restrictive than the state law. This restores the ability of municipalities to tailor their licensing programs to local conditions, such as high-density urban areas, tourist corridors, and communities with known concentrations of illicit massage activity that may legitimately need stricter licensing requirements than a uniform statewide standard can provide. And third, this bill removes the cap on administrative fees, allowing municipalities to set fees that reflect the actual cost of running a licensure program. It also includes a technical clarification confirming that statutory municipalities have the authority to license and regulate massage facilities, a fix needed because the underlying statute was originally drafted to govern counties. We ask for an aye vote on 1257.
Representative Rutnell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As my colleague mentioned, this bill addresses serious issues around criminal activities happening at massage parlors, including human trafficking. According to Polaris Project, more than 9,000 illicit massage businesses operate across the United States. They're fronts for human trafficking, drug distribution, and money laundering, and they are here in Colorado. In 2021, as many as 34 illicit parlors were identified in the Colorado Springs area alone. And when Aurora enacted a strong local licensing ordinance, the city shut down nearly 20 of these operations. But an investigation found that 7 of those businesses simply crossed city lines and reopened in other cities. As my colleague mentioned, municipal licensure programs are the first line of defense. When they have the right tools, they shut down illicit operations. When those tools are taken away, illicit operators stay open, cycle through locations, and continue exploiting vulnerable people. This bill restores that flexibility without mandating new programs on anyone. We have witnesses that have spoken to the benefits of this bill, and we urge an aye vote.
Representative Bottoms.
I definitely want to give credit where credit is due.
We do not have many bills that come through this building that are against human trafficking. Usually we prop it up in a few different ways. And so I want to definitely give credit to this, to the sponsors of this. Thank you, both of you. Thank you for running this bill. Colorado is 13th in human trafficking across the country. When you look at the laws that we've been passing over the last 4 years, we are the most human trafficking friendly state in the United States. This has got to stop. This is a great bill for part of this conversation. This is an absolute must. And thanks to the sponsors also for digging into actually one of the, there's three categories that are very strong in Colorado when it comes to human trafficking, and these massage parlors are the top of the list. And so if we can just shut this one down, this is a great attack against and a deterrent to human trafficking. And I'd love it to see us go after some other areas in our state that are human trafficking. And this is a major importance to me. I spend a lot of time investigating this, spend a lot of time trying to figure out where these things are across the state. So to Representative Rootnell and to Representative Gonzalez both, thank you. This is a fine job.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Hartsook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the sponsors. So I was the original sponsor for 1371. And when we targeted the human trafficking, 1371 was focused on crossing state lines for businesses that were coming from out of state, coming into Colorado to set up being bad actors. It also helped the counties. This bill now, what we've got is 1257, is the second chapter of that. It closes it out with adding additional tools to all the municipalities, because we took care of it at the state level, we took care of it at the county level, and now 1257 takes care of it at the municipal level. It adds tools to their kit, not only in the licensing, but in the prosecution, tracking, and everything else. So I applaud the sponsor for this. I urge aye vote. Thank you.
Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to applaud this bipartisan effort as well. I would disagree with the representative from El Paso. We're 10th highest for trafficking in the state, closer to 7th highest. So anything that will protect our community from these trafficking crimes, I applaud you. I respect you. Thank you for bringing this forward.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? All right. Representative Barone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I did notice one of the sponsors that rolled his eyes when I came up here, but I'm actually up here in support. I thank the sponsors for coming up here and making this fix to this bill. It's a good bill, really does address one of the key issues of the state. So I will be in full support of this bill, and I will vote yes.
Any further discussion on the bill?
And I'll probably co-sponsor as well.
All right, seeing none, the question before us is adoption of House Bill 1257 as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. House Bill 1257 as amended is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
All right, you have all heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Shebel, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report as under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof and making the following recommendations thereon. House Bills 1107 is amended, 1200 is amended, 1237 is amended, 1238 is amended, and 1257 is amended, passed on second reading, ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. And Senate Bill 46 passed on second reading, ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Representative Ryden. Thank you, Representative Ryden. Members, you've heard the motion. The motion before us is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative DeGraff, how do you vote?
No.
Representative DeGraff votes no. Carter, Morrow, Taggart. Oh, Taggart is excused. Well, JBC is here. Carter is excused. Please close the machine. With 42 aye, 21 no, and 2 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Any additional announcements, introductions? Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar till Thursday, March 12th, 2026.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over until tomorrow, March 12th. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will stand in recess until